Hello, I am the Droll Troll, and today I wanted to touch upon my views of the Expendables 4. Now, I've actually seen some reviews done on this movie from some of the trolls on YouTube, and this is one of those films where I don't entirely agree with their position. For the most part, a lot of the trolls on YouTube are dead on with the way they see things. But I think part of the problem with this film, The Expendables 4, is maybe their expectations are a little bit too high, perhaps. It's just an action film. If you go into the movie of The Expendables expecting it to be anything more, then you're going to be sorely disappointed. It's just an action film, sort of like a bromance between Jason Statham and Sylvester Stallone that gets played out in a bunch of action sequences and stunts, and in fact that's the primary reason why you'd even want to go to a show like this. So if you're looking for a film that's just entertaining, that has some cool martial arts and effects, the narrative is decent but not great, doesn't really need to be. Some of the originals aren't there, obviously. I mean, you have, let's see, Jason Statham, Sylvester Stallone, the one guy with the cauliflower ear, I forget his name, I feel bad about that, but it's true. Then you have 50 Cent, actually does a decent job. Then you have a bunch of unknowns, which kind of fun. It's always fun to watch an unknown, because it adds a little bit of a change to the film without detracting from the original camaraderie. So with that said, it's entertaining. It absolutely has entertainment value. Now for the spoilers and the criticism of it. Here's where I have to say there's obviously a few problems with the film. And in a film like this, there's always going to be a few problems. The biggest strong point for this film is the camaraderie between the characters, and all of the action sequences are a lot of fun to watch. I have to hand it to them. It's not, on the same caliber as Mission Impossible with Tom Cruise, but it's, for a lower budget film, it's entertaining, it's fun. But there are some continuity issues with time in particular. And I'll give you an example. This is a spoiler. You have a scene in the beginning where you have, I believe it's Tony Jaa, that is the bad guy, and they're trying to get these nuclear detonators, and he's trying to get them from this general. And in this short period of time where he manages to kill all these people, manages to capture this general and interrogate him, I can't imagine it would take more than 3 or 4 hours to do this. The Expendables team manages to put their entire team together, come up with a game plan, fly all the way across the continental waters to, I believe it's the Philippines, I forget where it was located exactly. No, it was Libya. Sorry, Libya, where these detonators are located, and actually attack these people. On one hand, it takes 3 or 4 hours for Tony Jaa to do what he's doing, and the Expendables team, I just don't see how they can do what they did in less than 24 hours. So there's this huge disparity between the amount of time it took for the bad guys to do what they were doing and for the Expendables team to actually show up and try to stop them. It's glaring. In fact, it is so obviously off that it breaks continuity. It kicks you right out. There's nobody in that theater who's not sitting there thinking, there's no way in hell. No way in hell these people could go all the way over there in that short period of time. Not possible. With that said, the rest of the film is watchable. It's entertaining. You've got an interesting dynamic between Jason Statham and what's her name? I always forget her name. Megan Fox, is it? She actually does a surprisingly good job. Well, when I say good, I'm talking good for this kind of movie. I wouldn't say good in an academic sense or an Oscar-worthy performance type good. No, I'm talking for an action film that's low budget, where you're not expected to do much more than look like you can fight a little bit and shoot a gun and deliver your dialogue without sounding like an idiot. Yeah, she does good. Now, with that said, the others, their dialogue-driven scenes are fairly, a little bit bland, to be honest with you. I mean, even when they're fighting, they're like, "Hey, are you okay?" Just the dialogue was. I'm not sure who wrote it. I'd be surprised if Sylvester Stallone wrote it, because he's written some amazing stuff. And if he actually wrote this, I'd almost feel sorry for him, because it feels a little hacked. And there's one other thing that I did find a little bit troubling. Now, I'm a huge fan of Jason Statham. Dude, I love that guy's acting and martial arts. I don't care if he can't do anything but himself. It doesn't matter. He's cool. It's fun to watch. But this show was, I'd say, about 50 or 60% Jason Statham. And the rest of the characters kind of just had their little bits and pieces. He carries almost the entire show. There's no question he is the star of the show, in a big way. And now you'd think it'd be Stallone, but spoiler alert here, he's not in that much of the film. That really surprised me. Truly. So if you like Jason Statham, and you can just watch him just doing his stunts and martial arts and not much else, then you'll probably like this show. But don't expect much of a plot. Don't expect dialogue that's particularly clever. Don't expect anything more than that, really. And if you go in with that kind of a, "Hey, I'm just here to watch an action film, man, and you just get away from the wife for 2 hours." If you go in that kind of attitude, hey, I think you'll actually enjoy it. It'll be fun. So that's my review of the film. It's very simple, very straightforward. I appreciate you watching The Droll Troll, and let me know what you think.